luxury of using the space of our Department of Music and Performing Arts professions, and we have their students and staff to help us, so let's give them a hand. Good afternoon. I'm Gwendolyn. Honored guests, family, friends, faculty, and class of 2013. As the chair of Department of Physical Therapy at New York University, I bring greetings from President John Sexton and Dean Mary Brayback, who unfortunately cannot be with us here today. Before we celebrate the accomplishments of our 32 graduates, I would like to take a moment to introduce the members of our esteemed faculty who are sitting before you here today. In the past 5 years, he has published 3 books, prestigious scientific journals, has featured a number of his original work, and he has had his textbooks adopted by physical therapy education programs worldwide. Dr. Mitchell Batavia. A board-certified specialist in pediatric physical therapy, she dedicates herself to the clinical education component of the Doctor of Physical Therapy curriculum to ensure that each graduate develops essential clinical skills as a generalist in physical therapy, Dr. Elaine Becker. He specializes in functional manual therapy for orthopedic and neurological populations. He's a board-certified specialist in orthopedic physical therapy and a fellow of the American Academy of Orthopedic and Manual Physical Therapy. Professor Elliot Fishbein. Professor Fishbein unfortunately cannot be with us today. She's the director of our Transitional Doctor of Physical Therapy program. She's a consultant for the World Health Organization to establish community-based rehabilitation programs in developing countries. Dr. Engert. with a research focus on individuals with chronic ankle sprains. He teaches anatomy and physiology of the musculoskeletal system and our students' first critical inquiry and clinical decision-making course in the DPT curriculum, Dr. Gregory Gutierrez. A specialist in diabetic foot and wound care, he spent 21 years as a chief physical therapist in a New York Regional Ambulatory Cancer Disease Program. He served 26 years as a commissioned officer in the United States Public Health Service, retiring in 2006 at the rank of captain. He heads a wound care clinic for patients with diabetes at Bellevue Hospital, Dr. Lou Aluzzi. She's an expert in exercise physiology and author of a textbook on physical agents that has been adopted by physical therapy programs nationwide. As a consultant to the Eritrean Ministry of Health, she developed model physical therapy clinics and physical therapy education programs in Africa. Dr. Zega Meritia. She's an international known expert on exercise for the elderly and a geriatric clinical specialist. She directs the Doctor of Physical Therapy program and is currently the president of the World Confederation of Physical Therapy, representing over 300,000 physical therapists worldwide. She served 2 terms as a president of the American Physical Therapy Association and has served on boards and committees of numerous national and international healthcare organizations. She was the first recipient of an award that bears her name, the Marilyn Moffitt Leadership Award, given by the American Physical Therapy Association. Dr. Marilyn Moffitt. She has conducted research supported by the Arthritis Foundation. She recently received the prestigious award from the American Academy of Rheumatology. She also received the grant from the National Institute of Health to study foot and ankle movement patterns of patients. Perfect timing. With diabetic neuropathy and arthritis, she has been invited to present her work nationally and internationally, Dr. Smita Rao. A specialist in ergonomics and orthopedic physical therapy, he teaches one of the first problem-based learning courses in the DPT curriculum. He developed the first residency program in orthopedic physical therapy in the tri-state area. He's one of our own, having graduated from the NYU physical therapy program with the knowledge, ambition, and skills necessary to succeed in the world. He is a living proof that the graduates of our program are well-rounded individuals that prosper in all aspects of life. Dr. Kevin Weaver. On behalf of the faculty, I would like to join our graduates, first to thank their families and friends for their consistent emotional support and financial assistance. I must also thank our full-time adjunct and clinical faculty and guest speakers. Without your dedication, we would not have a physical therapy program, let alone a successful one. Based upon the feedback from potential employers, the physical therapy world is quite impressed by the skills and knowledge exhibited by the class of 2013. In addition, the NYU University Administration of the Steinhardt School of Culture, Education, and Human Development, and administration of the Physical Therapy Department have been extremely supportive. Our students learn in one of the best facilities at NYU. I want to thank our terrific staff, including Ann Seaton, Julie Chin, Angela Clifford, Mentin Balian, Peggy Dadaya, and Frank Fernandez for making our environment comfortable and conducive to learning. Thank you very much. Today, while physical therapy is as rewarding a profession as ever, its focus has continued to widen and its significance has continued to grow. Over the course of 3 challenging years here at NYU, we have watched the class of 2013 evolve, much like the practice of physical therapy itself. As my esteemed colleagues can attest, when we sat where you now sit, physical therapists held a noble but narrow practice arena. Our job was to rehabilitate individuals who are sick or disabled from conditions like stroke or broken bones. Our goals were to aid the healing process, to alleviate symptoms, and to improve the patient's ability to function. Some students may have entered our DPT program with the preconception that they too would be limited by this narrow scope. But as they have studied, listened, and learned, they have discovered that our field has evolved to encompass so much more than it once did. Over the past few decades, the rapid action of scientific development has led to medical and technological wonders beyond our wildest dreams. Nevertheless, as Sir Isaac Newton once explained, to every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Video games and the internet has ushered sports and athletics aside. The quick and convenient personal computers and other smart devices have led to the more sedentary jobs and lifestyles. The culture of fast food has left healthy eating habits in its way. As a result, such problems as obesity, diabetes, and heart disease are on the rise. In fact, the United States of America currently has the highest rate of obesity in the world. Physical therapy, a field once solely linked to treating ill or disabled individuals, now plays a crucial part in the prevention of diseases caused by improper diet and physical inactivity. There is an increased demand for physical therapists whose knowledge base and skill level must be greater than ever before. NYU's DPT program continued to evolve to reflect these fundamental changes in the philosophy of our society. In addition to old standards of examination intervention, we teach preventive methods including exercise physiology, fitness, and critical thinking. It is through the generous donation of alumni that our students are able to acquire cutting-edge technology and information, test in its studies, and apply it to their practice. Thanks to the generosity of the students who sat in your seats in the years past, you are graduating with physical therapy knowledge that reflect the most current, innovative research and verified practical applications. As one of the oldest physical therapy programs in the country and the first to develop DPT curriculum, the NYU Physical Therapy Program has a tradition of unequaled excellence. I'm proud to say that the class of 2013 has carried on this tradition. You have successfully completed 39 months of rigorous study. You have persevered through a challenging curriculum, and you have come out with a wealth of knowledge and skills that has made your families, friends, and faculty proud. It is now your job to use this knowledge to lead, discover, reflect, prevent, and intervene. With today's ceremony, the class of 2013 has completed one more step of an ongoing journey. While this component of your schooling may be over, your education still continues. You have been well prepared for this exciting next phase in your lives. As generalists, you will provide competent care to patients. As independent practitioners, you will make physical therapy more accessible to consumers. As critical thinkers, you will continue to challenge accepted practice. As lifelong learners, you will continue to acquire knowledge and skills. As individuals, you will continue to reflect, grow, and evolve. Today, we pass a torch of excellence into your hands. It will continue to light your encounters with success as you journey forward from these chairs you now sit today. May your enlightened hands provide comfort to your family, friends, patients, and colleagues. May you wield this light in a direction that helps you discover tomorrow's cures the ailments of today. May you use its light, as so many who have sat where you now sit have before, to sustain the flame of the profession of physical therapy here at NYU. On behalf of the NYU Physical Therapy faculty, I welcome you all as keepers of the flame, practitioners of tomorrow, and of course, as colleagues. Congratulations. It is now my greatest honor to introduce Dr. Patricia Carey, Associate Dean of the Steinhardt School of Culture, Education, and Human Development. She's bringing greetings on behalf of the school administration. Dr. Carey has been with us to celebrate DPT students' accomplishment since our first class. We thank her for her support and participation.
I think you've given away my age. So, good afternoon. Oh my God, there was a pause. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It almost sounds like you're here to celebrate the accomplishments of our class of 2013. Congratulations. And yes, class of 2013, you are about to become doctors of physical therapy. I want to take you, though, down to memory lane, just a bit, and hear what was happening in our world when you began your studies in 2010. Do you remember? I hit a website the year you began your studies so that I could be almost certain that what I'm about to say is true. Most of the news that year was bad news. There was the economy, the stock market, banks failing, housing market failing. There was the swine flu and the constant debate over health care reform. Remember? That's okay if you don't. There was a war in Afghanistan and Iraq, with the American part of the war in Iraq decreasing and the American part of the war in Afghanistan heating up. Early 22, remember the earthquakes in Haiti, with close to 250,000 people killed, which was followed by another earthquake in Chile. Good news, the New Orleans Saints won the Super Bowl. Now, how much did things cost in 2010? Well, the average cost of a new home was $232,880. You aren't gasping? Cost of a gallon of gas, $2.73. A U.S. postage stamp, 44 cents. A dozen eggs, $1.97, and a loaf of bread, depending on the brand, $2.49. So let's fast forward now to 2013. Because the more things change, the more things really remain the same. I'm assuming that we all read the paper today, online or offline?
No.
And you know that we are still grappling with serious issues of war, of the environment, health, education, and drugs. We know that stars are bringing little ones into the world, so there is joy and there is sorrow. This year marks the 150th anniversary of the Emancipation Proclamation, that all persons held as slaves are free, signed by Abraham Lincoln. Next week, August 28th, we commemorate the 50th anniversary of Dr. King's world-ringing I Have a Dream speech. And still in 2013, we fight for all of our citizens to be free with their rights and choices. So what does this have to do with you? Well, a whole lot. You know, you give us hope. And I know that sounds so maudlin, but I know, your families know, your friends know, your faculty know that this is true. You give us hope because you are playing a very, very important role in where we go from here. The world is different now from when you made the commitment to complete your studies here. And as much as the world is different now, the issues don't change much. So you are being prepared to face the world with your new self, Doctor of Physical Therapy. You too have changed. You're more knowledgeable, sharper in your observations and judgments, and wiser. And one of the biggest decisions you will be faced with in our world of change and sameness is deciding on how you want to be, how you want to use your talents to make a difference in our world. you will contribute to its richness, to its growth, how you will help to ensure that it is a good place for all of its citizens to be, in spite of itself. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to your families who grew you. You don't think of it in that way, but they deserve a huge round of applause. Congratulations to your faculty who've contributed enormously to your intellectual, personal, and career development. And I often ask students, do you ever, or when was the last time you said thank you to faculty? Think about it. It's not too late, right? And your friends who helped to sustain you. Your friends. So on behalf of the Steinhardt School and your dean, Dean Mary Brayback, we thank you for allowing us to count you among our alums who will not forget your alma mater. So congratulations, and I want to just say congratulations to the chair, Professor Wen Ling. This is kind of her graduation too. And I also extend congratulations to the incoming chair of the department, Mitchell Batavia. It's his sort of orientation. So I like how so congratulations. Make the world a different place for us all.
It is my great pleasure to introduce two student speakers today, Dr. Dennis Meyer and Dr. Matthew Sachs.
Hello everyone, honored guests, faculty, fellow graduates, family of graduates. I'm honored to have a moment to speak to you today, and in preparation, I watched some TED Talks. For those of you who are not familiar, TED is a not-for-profit organization that basically the slogan is, ideas worth sharing. So they have all these great lecturers by very successful and inventive people. And when I was watching these talks, I stumbled onto one by a man named Terry Moore, who claimed that despite being in front of, and I quote, a wonderful collection of some of the most effective, intelligent, intellectual, savvy, worldly, and innovative people in the world, of course similar to today's crowd, there is reason to believe that many, if not most of you, are tying your shoes incorrectly. Now, he had a camera crew and a prop shoot, but we're going to keep it simple today, so follow me or get to know your neighbor who's wearing some lace-up shoes. After you make the bunny ear, most people loop down and around. If you tug this knot, the bow will orient tangentially up and down the laces. If instead you make a bunny ear and loop up and around, when you tug this knot, the bow orients parallel and is the stronger form of the exact same knot. Who knew? We all could have certainly saved some time and effort. What I would like to take from his story is a lesson that we can apply to our futures, our very bright futures, going forward. We have learned a great deal thanks to NYU, clinical affiliations, life experiences, classmates. But there's always room for improvement, ways to make things more efficient. During our time at NYU, I noticed two major trends that provided our class the experience and success that has brought us here today. Passion and compassion. First, compassion. We've helped each other from the very start, Facebook announcements on how to navigate the new world of DPT school. After Superstorm Sandy, when those of us were displaced, classmates opened up their home. And I believe that sharing a studio-sized New York apartment should be the definition of compassion. Thanks, Catrone. seriously. We've received compassions from others. We've had faculty move exams to better suit our schedules, to our family for putting up with us while we were studying those exams, and to Dr. Weaver for repeating himself 6 times so that we would actually learn what he was teaching us. We have also showed compassion to our community. We've helped the Steinhardt School, which is mostly arts and education, win some all-you games with our athleticism. More importantly, we also helped our profession by raising over $16,000 for the Foundation for Physical Therapy. Finally, passion. Not only did this class learn to hopefully obtain good grades, but you could tell that everyone was just motivated to learn the material so that they could become amazing physical therapists and really impact people's lives. Another way that you can see the passion in our class is by doing a little experiment. So help me out here, kids. For any of you who are in one or perhaps more of the following, please raise your hand. A romance. Yep. A bromance. Yeah. A womance, which is apparently the female version of that. And even a study buddy romance. That's right. We've all gotten ourselves through it, so you can see the evidence there. Thankfully, the passion that we have found at NYU will be remembered on a monthly basis as we send in our loan payments. Although I imagine people are passionate about that in a whole different way. In conclusion, let your passion and compassion guide you. Let your understanding of simple changes potentially impacting the efficacy and efficiency of your work help you to continue to learn and be expressed. And I'll leave you with one final quote from an unknown author. Passion is born when you catch a glimpse of your true potential. Congratulations and best wishes, class of 2013. Fellow graduate Matt Sachs.
I'm so pleased to get to talk to you all today. It seems my fellow students thought that I could lend some perspective to the 3 years we spent together. Or perhaps they'd really find the rich timbre of my voice, my expansive vocabulary, and my rugged masculinity to be soothing in some way. Or maybe it's just, they said, yeah, I'm not going to make a fool of myself in front of a bunch of people. Let's make Matt and Janice do it. In any event, I'm so happy to be here in front of you. The past 3 years with this class have been truly fantastic. Whenever lecture got monotonous, which I can assure the parents it never did, or my mind became numb with memorizing drug names, muscle attachments, or names of special tests, I would remember that I get to go to school with 30 other incredibly talented and profoundly passionate individuals, as well as Scott Weil. Looking around the room where 3 years ago I saw a room of strangers, I now see close friends and colleagues whom I respect and admire. I see passionate young clinicians, I see researchers, I see professors. All of us are ready to take on everything from pediatrics to neurology to wound care and orthopedics. I even remember hearing that the U.S. Public Health Service is looking for dedicated physical therapists. I'm so proud to call myself a member of the NYU DPC class of 2013. We're getting into this profession at a very exciting time. There are so many changes happening both in the healthcare system at large and within our profession, with education levels and credibility of therapists. Now that we are entering the field, we are the ones setting the course for the future of our profession. We can shape it in any way that we want to. We are carrying the mantle for our profession in a way that not many professionals have the opportunity to. Physical therapy is a complex field with huge variability in practice areas. It's our responsibility as new professionals to decide not only where we want to go, but where we want our field to go. I'm thrilled and excited with the new opportunities ahead of us. Our class has already been so involved in promoting our profession and getting involved in the community by volunteering with charitable organizations, participating in research, and organizing hugely successful 5K runs. I know that everyone will continue to be involved in various ways that advance our profession. So at my most recent clinical affiliation, I had this moment where I kind of took stock of everything. I looked around and I thought, wow, I'm like a real physical therapist now. And I'm sure it's happened to every one of my classmates at some point during their most recent recent affiliation, and it's a really cool thing to have happen. When you're pulling on all the knowledge you picked up over the last 3 years of coursework and applying it to your local patients, and not only that, but seeing them get better as a result, that's why we got into this job in the first place. But when I had this moment, it made me think back to 3 years earlier when I was a lowly first-year student out of my first affiliation. Like many of my classmates, I was at a hospital, and my responsibilities were, in retrospect, quite limited. But during that first affiliation, I also had a moment where I thought, wow, I'm a real physical therapist now. Probably while I was just walking with a patient, or teaching someone heel slides, or hopefully not dodging a bladder accident in the hallways. Oh, how wrong I was. If I only knew how much I would learn and grow over the 3 following years, I would laugh. However, it has me wondering, if I'm thinking this now, where will I be in another 3 years, or 3 years after that? There's so much more out there to learn, and just because we get to call ourselves DPTs today, does not by any stretch of the imagination mean we're done learning. So as a challenge to myself and my fellow graduates, I would stay hungry for knowledge every single day. Give 100% every day to what you're doing. I'm sure we will all be astonished at how much we can grow in the next 3 years. On behalf of the class, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the families of all graduates. You've exhibited the utmost support, patience, caring, and understanding as the 32 of us tried to navigate life in physical therapy school. You were guarantors for our ridiculously expensive apartments, moral support when school became overwhelming, and always had our backs when we wanted to stay in this crazy city. Personally, I can't begin to thank my parents enough for everything they did for me. I know my fellow graduates feel the same way about their families. I'd also like to take a moment and thank the faculty who helped guide us through this program and form the foundation for our clinical expertise. We all truly appreciate how much time and effort you invested in us. As new clinicians, we will be, in part, reflections of you, so we thank you for sharing your passion. Lastly, I would like to thank my classmates. Sitting in a room with the same people for hundreds of hours over 3 years could really drive me nuts. But I can honestly say I've enjoyed every minute with all of you. I'm sure classes like this always vary so much with all kinds of different personalities and backgrounds, but there's something about this class that just works. I couldn't imagine a better group of individuals. So that's about all I have for you. Graduates, I'll leave with these words to follow as we all begin our new careers. You make a living by what you earn, you make a life by what you give. Congratulations, doctors.
It is now time for the class of 2013 to present a gift on behalf of the class to the Department of Physical Therapy. They also would like to present the plaque they received as a 3rd place winner for the Pittsburgh Maquette Challenge Award from the Foundation of Physical Therapy. And I want to introduce Dr. Casey Michelle Smith and Dr. Michelle Salenti to present these 2 awards.
So each year the graduating class presents a gift to the department. This year we've decided to do something a little bit different. The students in our class really pride themselves on their professional development and self-education. We recently had students go to a student conclave in San Diego where they were able to attend educational seminars and classes. When they came back, both of them had phenomenal things to say and raved about it. It was an opportunity for them to learn about the future of our careers and opportunities that present themselves. So this year's class gift is 2 partial scholarships for students to attend the student conclave. Okay. As many of you know, in March, our class planned and executed a 5K run walk to benefit the Foundation of Physical Therapy. With the help of family and friends and local businesses, we raised more than $16,000. This amount garnered NYU 3rd place in the Pittsburgh Maquette Challenge, as Dr. Lang just mentioned, and it's a fundraising competition between all the physical therapy programs nationally to support research in our field. We received the award at the National APTA Conference in June this year, and congratulations, class, for this wonderful achievement. It's something you can definitely be proud of. This time, we're presenting it to our department to house there.
accepted by Dr. Marilyn Moffat, who has been on the board and a major fundraiser for the Foundation of Physical Therapy for many, many, many years. Great job, class of 2013. And the faculty need to step off the stage because this is going to be a long-awaiting class of 13 slideshow. World premiere. Just sort of as a background explanation, you saw some of the male students in class of 2013 with this thing in front of the body. That's part of the women's health class that we held. So every male student had experienced pregnancy. Dr. Kevin Weaver and Dr. Mitchell Batavia is now going to present awards on behalf of the faculty.
So it is our honor to give out graduation awards every year from the department, but how we like to start usually is to recognize some people who won awards over the last 3 years. So if I can say your name, just stand up for the moment. Carly Wakala. Carly was chosen to be the student speaker at the doctoral convocation for Steinhardt, Maine. Tracy Smith. Tracy was awarded the NYU Steinhardt John Withers Memorial Award that's presented to an outstanding student who has attained scholastic achievement and upholds the highest ideals of service, loyalty, and devotion to the school and the graduating class. And finally, Scott Weil. Scott was awarded the NYU Steinhardt Samuel Eshborn Award. This award is presented to students in recognition of their superlative and extraordinary service, exhibiting the highest standards of leadership in school activities. Now the graduation awards. These are decided upon by all the faculty up here. And I'd like you to know, if your name is said, stand, please come to the stage. Dr. Batavia has something for you, and a check in the mail will follow. The Arthur J. Nelson Award. Dr. Nelson is the former chair of the physical therapy department for 13 years. He was an internationally known researcher, educator, and a consummate clinician. This award is presented to graduating student who achieves superior academic and clinical excellence and demonstrates interest and potential to be a leader in the field of electrotherapy. And we have 2 winners. So we would like Elena Myaskanova and Kurt Swoop to participate. Second award is the Physical Therapy Department Service Award. This was created in 1995 to recognize a graduate student as demonstrated outstanding service to the department, the faculty, and the physical therapy student body. It is recognized that this individual has also demonstrated excellent leadership abilities and the potential to become an outstanding clinician. Again, we have 2 winners, Michelle Salente and Casey Smith. Professor Adams was a former director of the Department of Physical Therapy for 25 years. She exemplified superior academic achievement and demonstrated sincere interest in providing quality clinical education. This award is presented to the graduating student who demonstrates superior achievement in his or her academic and clinical studies and who demonstrates the potential to become an outstanding clinician. Two winners again, Kristen Patron and Carly Nicole.
Dr. Lou Anuti is going to deliver today's keynote speech.
Gotta get the glasses off. Never used to use these before, but now you'll see after 50. Okay. Well, welcome graduates, friends, parents, and Dean Carey, fellow faculty, to the NYU's doctoral physical therapy graduation ceremony. As you prepare to leave our hallowed halls and creaky floors, well, not anymore since we have a makeover, but it is my esteemed honor to address you today at this year's celebration. As you know, I used to be a disc jockey, so I look at the world in a song. So, in my day, the words of the prophets were written on the subway walls and tenement halls. However, today I'd like to insert a little passage from one of today's more popular philosophers, Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day. Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Your physical therapy careers are just waiting to unfold. Time has grabbed you by the wrist, directed you where to go. You've made the best of this life's test, and now you know all you need to know. However, not really. In reality, you will never know all there is to know. As William Durant, an early pioneer in the automotive industry, said, education is a progressive discovery of our own ignorance. As graduates of this program, you now possess the unique and also professional skills that will continue to broaden and polish with the accumulation of your life's learning experiences. You are NYU-trained physical therapists who are destined to make an impact on your profession and within the communities in which you serve. Perhaps Spider-Man said it best, with great knowledge comes great responsibility. How did we get to this point of celebration? Well, from the beginning of the matriculation process, we as faculty knew there was a refreshing something special about the class of 213. Your class, to use physical therapy jargon, is a joined at the hip group of honest, dedicated, innovative, and compassionate professionals whom we consider to be outstanding examples of the next generation of physical therapists. Do you recall how this long, exhilarating, and completely life-changing 39-month journey began? Well, for many of you, I had the privilege of interviewing you for acceptance into our program. Each of you possessed something special, contributing a part to the colorful mosaic that would comprise your class. The first summer was an intense period of study that truly measured your resolve to succeed. Fall semester arrived, introducing you to many new and often mind-blowing subjects like clinical science, pharmacology, and radiology. You mastered the language of the cardiopulmonary musculoskeletal systems, and you used some of the tools of the trade in physical agents. Spring brought manual techniques where you refined your sense of therapeutic touch in massage and joint mobilization. You also began to learn to think critically about the exhaustive myriad of scientific literature available to you. Second year brought additional challenging subjects, but now you're able to rationalize them and reinforce the memorization of all those tests and measures with a variety of involving clinical experiences. The electromodalities course was a huge charge for most of you, as you confidently gained the ability to safely electrify your patients. And some of you were kind of like shocked to know that you passed the lab practical exam that you sweated over for weeks. Third year, you're now in the senior's driver's seat, getting close to the home stretch. You have developed a solid command of anatomy and pathophysiology of the nervous and musculoskeletal systems, and yes, even pharmacology and radiology were becoming more understandable. Then came the foreign territory of the integumentary and other systems course. I'm sure many of you closed your eyes and shook your heads wondering what was in store with this course. You know, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, I would have loved to have been a fly on the lunchroom wall to hear the chatter regarding some of my wound pictures. Just think of the unique clinical perspective gleaned from this course on the management of diabetic foot, venous and pressure ulcers, as well as introduction to women's health, an emerging facet of physical therapy, which hopefully some of you will make part of your practice. By the end of the last spring semester, you students were rocking. Senioritis was now in a full tilt boogie mode, and you have encountered many clinical and classroom learning experiences that will define you, give you confidence in your abilities, and help you assemble an incredible armamentarium of skills essential to becoming exceptional generalist practitioners. Final exams completed, on to summer affiliations, which have now prepared you for an entry-level job market. Wow, bring on the licensing exam. Once in the workforce, you have a professional obligation to share your extensive clinical skills and experience with your new colleagues. I always advocate to new graduates to spend at least 2 years in an acute care general medical surgical environment in order to maintain a sharp clinical edge and truly hone your professional skills. Do not be too eager to specialize. Restrict lucrative job offers that will blunt your skills, while many of your other important components of physical therapy are forgotten in a very short time period during specialization. Take time to learn the business of physical therapy, as well as learn how to grow your bottom line. You have tuition to be paid. Take risks, for the challenges will help you build your character and mold you professionally. Remember, a doctoral degree in physical therapy from NYU is like a Charles Dickens novel, full of great expectations, a chronicle of your personal triumphs and professional growth. As the ever-expanding global pandemic of obesity and diabetes progresses, where every 30 seconds a limb is lost to this debilitating disease, some of you may feel compelled to start a diabetes screening or wound clinic in your facility. Use your knowledge of pathophysiology, exercise, and integumentary skills to prevent amputation, disability, and premature mortality associated with this dreaded disease. When I was a young public health service officer, freshly graduated from NYU's then certificate program, I was told 2 very important pearls of wisdom which I will share with you. The first relates to you performing differential diagnosis. When you hear hoofbeats, you often think of horses, not zebras. Well, sometimes following your evaluation, you may end up treating a zebra, like a Charcot's joint or a malignancy that you identified in your comprehensive clinical assessment of your patient. Consider all possibilities carefully. Rely on your clinical judgment, and then look at the evidence to support your decision. The second has always been a favorite of mine, which I've related to before. It relates to your professional motivation and self-initiative, because you never know when you'll have the opportunity to make a difference. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man or woman is king or queen. Proverbial translation, even if you only know a little bit about a subject, your meager experience will soon catapult you to expertise. Often in the military, while standing in line looking for volunteers, when everyone else takes a step backward, you'll be the one standing in the front row. Seize the opportunity to lead. Be innovative, motivated, and explore new ground. Perhaps some of you will come full circle in your career, from student to accomplished practitioner to faculty member. It would be great to see a few become clinical educators at the university level. A few more of you may heed the call to serve our country's military personnel. Today's gallant veterans deserve the best and brightest physical therapists to help them regain their function and overcome their casualties of combat. Recent innovations and advances in prosthetics and orthotics now use robotics to replace limbs lost in support of our freedoms. In the ranks of the military, we used to say, see one, do one, teach one. So go forth and share your skills with your colleagues and patients. The APK's Vision 2020 is on the near horizon. The role of the physical therapist as an autonomous, direct access practitioner in our healthcare system will soon be your reality. Will you be ready? Vince Lombardi once said, "The price of success is hard work, dedication to the job at hand, and the determination that whether we win or lose, we have applied the best of ourselves to the task at hand." Be proud that you earned your DPT degree through hard work, sacrifice, sweat, and tears in one of the best physical therapy programs on the planet. To echo Billy Joe Armstrong once again, for what it's worth, it was worth it all the while. As you become part of today's workforce of physical therapists, remember that you are members of a distinct alma mater. In fact, on October 9th of this year, our department was celebrating the 85th anniversary of the NYU's physical therapy program, where we will honor 3 outstanding clinical educators, 2 of whom were my professors only a short time ago, and Dr. Marilyn Moffat and Dr. Ann Gert, as well as my dear colleague and retiring department chair, Dr. Wen Ling. Please join us on that day in honoring these individuals for their lifelong contribution to NYU's physical therapy program. Remember to sustain your alumni association in its difficult efforts to improve the quality of our educational programs and the financial support of evidence-based research. In conclusion, as you stroll along the road of success, let each day make you better. Never stop learning. Use your life experience to enrich the lives of your patients, and in the end, draw solace that you indeed made a difference to ease their suffering and heal their wounds. Find your moment in time. Make a difference. May you never quench your thirst for knowledge. But most of all, be happy in your altruistic pursuit of excellence, because as Confucius once said, if you truly enjoy what you choose to do in life, you will never work another day. As a son of a physical therapist, I have found this pearl of wisdom to be especially true. So as the song goes, it's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. On behalf of your beloved faculty, we sincerely hope you had the time of your life. Good luck, and may God bless you in all your endeavors.
The oath of physical therapy. Dr. Elaine Becker will lead us. Faculty and graduates, please stand. And anyone in the audience who's a physical therapist, please stand.
The oath is in the back of your program, so you can say it with me. In the presence of my colleagues, friends, families, and faculty, and in the view of the honored profession into which I am entering, I solemnly and willingly state that I dedicate myself to the following. I will ethically practice physical therapy with compassion and patience, recognizing the potential vulnerabilities in our patients, clients, and will preserve their dignity and promote their health and well-being at all times. I will value the lives of those I serve through my concern and with respect for them and the confidential nature of our relationship. I will be humble. I will recognize my limitations. I will continue to consult with my colleagues for knowledge with which I may better serve my patients and clients, and the inspiration to expand and augment my education. I will share my knowledge freely with my colleagues and with those I serve. I will strive for an improved quality of life for all of my patients and clients. I will work to improve the practice of physical therapy so that all who seek physical therapy services will receive those which are proper, ethical, and just. I will not allow my judgment regarding the practice of my profession to be influenced by greed or unethical behavior. I will respect the rights of all persons. Thus, with this oath, I freely accept all the obligations and the many rewards which will accompany my practice of physical therapy. Congratulations to the class of 2014.
Please have a seat. Okay, so the next part, family and friends, please take out your camera. Self photo op. So the order will be, the graduates will come up, walk around the stage, walk behind me, and come down the steps in the front. Dr. Caitlin Burns. Dr. Michelle Solenti. Dubinsky. Dr. General Aaron. Dr. William Etter. Twadowski. Dr. Nicole Greenberg. Diane Nicole. Dr. Michael Young Nerat. Dr. Blossom Chieri Wanari. Dr. Nicole Felon. Dr. Chelsea Elizabeth Rodriguez. Lyle. Congratulations, class of 2013. Dr. Merrill Moffitt and Dr. Gert will bring greetings on closing remarks on behalf of faculty, and Dr. Moffitt will lead.
Well, we're almost at the end, and really at the beginning. So it's a pleasure for me to be here at the closing portion of this ceremony. So to all of you as graduates, to your parents, to your families, to your friends, significant others, and all of those who supported you throughout this endeavor, I personally thank them, and I thank you for being a part of New York University. I hope this works. I'm not quite sure that it's going to, because this was done on somebody else's computer. So I'm going to go through this quite quickly because I did not program in all these flipping in and out. But as you now enter your chosen profession, you must continue to challenge yourself to assure that you capitalize on the opportunities that are before you. Be sure to provide the physical therapy services that are traditionally ours, and at the same time, look to ways to create new practice opportunities. You will be providing, in addition to all of the things a physical therapist usually performs in daily practice, increasing wellness programs and maintenance of health programs across the age span, including for the frailest of the frail. Increasing disability prevention programs, community programs for risk reduction of falls, programs to champion the use of safety belts, helmets, anti-smoking, and the like. Exercise programs for patients with cancer, particularly undergoing radiation and chemotherapeutic regimes, since the data now show the importance of exercise in their lives. Exercise programs for patients with diabetes, particularly for prevention, and certainly in addition to the treatment that we have traditionally rendered. You'll be doing postural training for the youngest of the young to assure that postural fatigue does not take its toll in later life. And as we know, youngsters are spending so much time at games and internet activities that the postural alignment is getting worse and worse. You'll be doing school screening programs across the country for young athletes to prevent injuries, exercise and fitness programs, particularly for pregnant women, since we know those problems created during pregnancy can lead to multiple low back problems later on. And certainly women's and men's programs for urinary incontinence is a skill that you have been given in this program. And exercise programs will continually be needed for the increasing obesity in this country. Industrial programs, which we and we alone may uniquely provide to prevent low back pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, postural stresses, cervical problems, and the like. Prevention programs for individuals at high risk of atherosclerotic disease, which we know is the leading cause of death in this country, and certainly cerebral vascular accidents. And the most extensive services for patients with pulmonary problems, since the data now show again that the NIH workshop has pushed the importance of pulmonary rehab for these patients. Golf and other sports-specific activities will certainly be in activities for prevention and rehabilitation programs. And the interesting thing is programs for anterior cruciate ligament tears will be such that there will be just minor involvement from the physical therapist initially, with the burden of the responsibility placed on the patient, again, to render the kinds of care when they get in the home environment. And I'm sure there's a myriad of other things that will evolve as time goes on within our profession. So the road that the profession will take and how different examinations and interventions may be from what they are today is certainly going to be up to all of you. You must meet, certainly directly and forthrightly, the challenges of all facets of physical therapy with your commitment of time, energy, financial resources, and whatever else it really takes to assure that your patients and your clients that you serve are never in want of the unique contributions that you and you alone can offer. You have been educated at the highest level possible, and therefore you must also take the time and expend the effort to analyze how you will be leaders of change. You will need to use your knowledge of exercise prescription and ways to make lifestyle changes to meet the increasing non-communicable diseases that we know exist in every state, as well as their associated risk factors, the leading of which is insufficient physical activity. You will also need to integrate the best scientific evidence out there as you select the appropriate tests and measures for your patients and clients. The tasks ahead of you are certainly enormous, but I know that you are capable of meeting these challenges. As you begin your professional career, the onus of the responsibility shifts from your faculty and your mentors to you. I remind you, your learning must never cease. Remember, learning is a process, not an event. Your concern and your compassion for your patients and clients must be of paramount importance. You must welcome the future, remembering that soon it will be past, and you must respect the past, remembering that once it was all that was humanly possible. You must certainly challenge the known and embrace the unknown. By your own acts, you will help to shape your own destiny, and it is not wrong to believe, as one individual physical therapist, you may help to shape in some way, either great or small, the destiny of others and certainly the destiny of the profession. The profession before you is truly a remarkable one. Few other professionals have the opportunities on a daily basis to see the smiles of joy and inner satisfaction that comes from seeing the mother of a child with cerebral palsy realize that her child may achieve standing balance, from seeing the patient who has sustained a stroke, again, increasing activities of daily living, and from seeing again the individual who has extensive arthritic changes achieve more pain-free range of motion, or the patient who's had a coronary artery bypass graft return to increasing intense physical activity on a treadmill. And yet, what other professionals also have the opportunities on a daily basis to touch, to hold, to comfort, to cry with, and to provide the needed support to the patient with a spinal cord injury when he or she learns that he or she will be the majority of life in a wheelchair, to the mother of a child dying with muscular dystrophy, or to the patient with AIDS with increasing neurological signs and symptoms. Your profession is certainly one where you and you alone have the opportunity to make a difference in so many lives. Yes, you as physical therapists will be professionals who do enter the lives of many. So the following poem sort of exemplifies what is so important in physical therapy for so many of us. To heal with the hands, to soothe with the touch, to believe with the mind, to care for so much, to take all the weight and still carry the load, to make one believe they can still travel the road, to get into one's spirit and make them find hope, to make one believe so that they can learn how to cope, to open your arms and to share your heart, to help put together those who feel they're falling apart. To dedicate your life to these wonderful things is the joy and happiness that physical therapy brings. Our destiny has been and will always be shaped by the qualities of resilience, skill, and compassion. It has been my joy to be a part of your lives. And what I'd like to do is leave you with a somewhat altered quote from A Psalm of Life by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Lives of all great persons remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footsteps in the sands of time. If you leave your own footprints, let them be such that others will be proud to walk in them. If you walk in the footsteps of others, choose men or women whose lives inspire you to do your best to meet the challenges of the profession of physical therapy as you embark upon this wonderful career. I thank you for giving me this opportunity to do these closing remarks. I wish you all Godspeed as you begin your physical therapy practice life. Thank you.
Will give the second part of the closing remarks.
giving me this opportunity to make the closing remarks today. As graduates know, I'm ending my career as they are beginning theirs. And all I can do is just summarize the many wonderful points that have already been made. For those of you who were not at the May ceremonies, I'm going to follow up on the closing remarks from those. At that time, the Vice Dean, Beth Weissman, said to all of the graduates who were getting doctoral degrees that they are among a very privileged group in our society. Only 2% have doctoral degrees in our nation. So immediately you're being raised into that very special group. And so to you, the graduates, I want to say particularly as I sat there and heard her say that, I thought, wow, and I'm here among the most privileged group. Because, first of all, you're going to have jobs. Aside from that, I really think that physical therapy is a very privileged profession. You've heard the many, many options you have within this profession. Dr. Moffat just addressed them. Matt did a good job today of addressing them. And you've known this from your 12 different clinical sites and many other experiences you've had. So yes, it's a privilege to be in such a profession where you have so much choice. And that's just the clinic. Then, as also was mentioned by Lou today, you also have the choice for coming back, doing teaching, doing research, being consultants, many, many choices. It's a great privilege, but as Dr. Weissman pointed out, you also have responsibility that goes with that. And I think you were told in your clinics that you were extremely professional, maybe compared to other students. And so you are recognizing that you have those responsibilities, and I know you will meet them. I just want to mention one more way that I think is even more of a privilege for physical therapy. I think that even within the health professions, we are the most privileged because we touch people in ways that the other health professions don't. We spend a little more time with patients, and yes, I know you feel squeezed, more and more pressure to treat quickly, treat more patients, but we still do have a little more time with people, and we touch them. That privilege of touching people, I think you may remember it, the first session we had in the first summer in between histology and gross anatomy, you had professional behavior, and we talked about touch and that personal space that you enter into when you touch people. You know a lot more about that now. Yes, we have that privilege to touch physically. We do it with great respect and great responsibility, but we also touch people emotionally. And very often when people go back and talk about their physical therapist, they don't say, oh, she was great, she got rid of the pain in my arm, or no, I get to reach over my head. No, that isn't usually what they say. They say, that was such a great therapist. You know, I was so scared when I went in there, and he just made me feel so much better. Or she made me feel so confident, and suddenly I realized I really could do it. And they might forget about the range of motion that you helped them to gain, but they remember that you touched them emotionally. And I think that is a privilege that we really have to cherish. So I just want to leave you with all those thoughts about your many, many privileges. I know that you will cherish them and you will assume the responsibilities to meet every one of them. And then what I really wish for you is that you will thoroughly enjoy the great benefits you're going to reap from meeting those responsibilities and cherishing those privileges. So I certainly wish you all the best. I welcome you into my field. I can retire knowing it's in good hands.
Can guests remain in your seats, and faculty and graduates will march out the room.